Valeria Giannotta. She's an academic expert of international relations, speaking to us from Rome. And Valeria, we've been speaking about how the Pope is such a man, or was such a man of the people, lauded for his humility, lauded for his compassion. Over his tenure as pontiff, what was the global impact that he had?
Well, he was a man of dialogue, first of all. I mean, standing for the most marginalized people, for humanity, but also he was a man of international politics as well. He was able to create bridges between cultures and between religion. Nobody will forget his trip to Abu Dhabi when he met the head of Islam, and then to Iraq, when he met the main representative of the Shiite community, the Shia community of Islam. He was a man of the global south as well. We shouldn't forget that he was the first pope appointed of a South American origin. So he was that man able to stand, to be outspoken as well for the poorest, for the most, for the last ones of the society. In terms of international relations, it was so peculiar and so emotional to know that every single night, also when he was in the hospital, in the most recent time, he spent a phone call to the Bishop of Gaza, getting information about the situation and presenting his personal support for the people of Gaza. And he was one of the few world leaders as well, calling what's happening in Gaza as a genocide. He was also, in most recent time, standing against the migration policy taken by the current American presidency. And also in Italy, he decided to move his residency from the Vatican to a normal church close to St. Peter's Square, and in that area, many people without house, many poor people are living in the street, and he was constantly in touch with those people, including them within the society and within the daily life. Also, in the most recent time, he stood against the option of Europe on the rearm dossier of Europe, and he has been always vocal in pursuit of mediation between Russia and Ukraine. I will say that, beyond being a spiritual guide for many, and also many non-believers were attached to this figure because he represented the Vatican from the Holy See from a different perspective. Also, his invitation at the most recent G7, who was held in Italy, has been of a significant importance. He spoke about climate change. He spoke about the ethical use of artificial intelligence as well. So he was, first of all, a human being, and then a very charismatic leader.
Valeria, when he became a pope, he certainly made or did things differently to his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI. Within the Catholic Church itself, how was he viewed among those in power? Because not everyone would have been happy with the direction he was taking the church in.
Indeed, the Catholic Church was extremely polarized, and there were people supporting the new reforming approach proposed by Pope Francis, and there were the ones supporting a more traditional view, a more dogmatic interpretation of Catholicism and Christianity as well. Actually, step by step, he worked very well in reforming the Catholic Church, but as he said, and he stated also in most recent time, there is still much to do in order to reform the Church and to put the humanity in the middle of the Church, on the religious dynamic as well. One of the most important steps he took when he became Pope, it was to decide not to live in the Vatican Palace, but as I mentioned before, to live in Santa Marta Church. And also now that he passed away, he will not, his body will not be buried in the St. Peter Church, but he has chosen another beautiful church in Rome, St. Mary Major, where he will be buried and when he will rest in peace. So there are symbolic elements, but they give us the dimension of the reforming path that he has been taking during the past 13 years in power.
Valeria Giannotta, always good to get your perspective. Thank you very much.